Welcome back to Becky, Amio Horse Training, and I'm going to show you a really basic maneuver today on a very green colt. Now, I've been showing these maneuvers on pretty advanced horses, and I imagine folks are probably wondering, well, how do you get them to that advanced stage? Now, this is a coming 3-year-old gelding raised by Lowing Ranch quarter horses. His registered name is LR Blue Hawk Hancock. And he's going to be offered in the Blue Valentine and Driftwood Heritage production sale this coming September 2021. So this maneuver that I'm doing here is called a rollaway, and it's on extension, which means that my reins are really long and loose. I'm not taking any sort of contact with his face, but I'm going to run my hands up his neck as a pre-cue and bend his head to the rail and roll him back to the rail, and then release. And then ideally send him off a little bit faster than what we went into the turn. Horses don't just come naturally knowing where to put their feet. They need to be taught foot placement in order to get out of their own way, use their body properly, and to be effective at whatever job we're giving them. If a horse knows how to move their feet properly for any job that we do give them, they're going to be that more effective at doing that job. They're going to be more confident, and they're just going to be better at it. So this is a very basic maneuver that helps teach them where to put their feet. Now, if we had cattle to go behind all day long, every day, our horses would pick this up pretty fast. But not all of us have access to cattle every single day. I have access to cattle in a dry lot that are about ready to start calving. I'm not going to be practicing these maneuvers on those cows. Not anytime soon, and I could probably tear out some fences if I did. So, to work these basic maneuvers and teach my horse the footwork, I'm going to practice here in the round pen. And you can use any sort of rail, arena, round pen, whatever you have available to you to work these maneuvers and help teach this lateral movement with your colt. So, let's break down these maneuvers and see exactly what's happening, okay? So I'm going to run my hands up his neck as a pre-cue, and I'm going to reach down that right rein that's closest to the rail. I'm going to tip my body to the outside away. I'm going to give him his head with the right rein and stay out of his face. I'm going to sit back on that left hip pocket, and I'm going to take my left hand back towards his hip to help scoot him out of this turn just a little bit faster and help quicken up his feet like that. By doing so, I'm staying out of his face. I'm allowing him to work and letting him move at his own pace. In these very beginning stages, when we're on extension with our reins, we're staying out of our horse's face. We're trying to keep a happy horse here that's learning a brand new job. So we're not messing with headset. We're not trying to get collection. We're not trying to hold him together. We're just setting him up to make a good decision by our proper body placement, by our rein placement, by our release of our rein in the turn. And that time, he took a lope out of it for a few strides. Let's stop there and rewind and take a look at that in slow motion. All right, so I give the cue. I run my hand down the left rein that's on the rail. I look to the left. I step weight into my right stirrup to offset, and I get ready to send him. I reach my hand back on his right hip to encourage him to get out of that turn. I allow him freedom in his mouth to send him, and he takes off in the left lead. Right here you can see his correct body position. He has his hocks underneath him, driving out of that turn. He's taking the left lead. He's on a loose rein. There's no mouth gapping. That's a quiet, happy horse that lopes a couple strides out. And it's okay that he breaks down into a trot. This is how we keep a quiet horse right there, is allowing them to come back down to a trot after he's been sent out at a lope. We do it again here. Send him out. And in the beginning stages, this is perfectly acceptable of what we want. We couldn't do this enough times correctly in front of a cow, because a cow would be, or a calf, or whatever we're cutting back and forth, would be changing direction so much we'd really have to be getting into this horse's face to get it correct, and we'd have an unhappy, frustrated horse with us. And instead, we can practice the muscle memory right here in the round pen to get it correct here before we put him on a cow the first time. And that way his first time on a cow will be a good experience. I have now shortened up my reins and taken contact with the bit. I will use the Halt command as a pre-cue to prep him to go into the maneuver that I want to do next. We are going to continue to do the same maneuver, but now I'm going to have contact with his face. In this roll, we see that he rocks backwards before he even starts to make the turn. Let's watch it again in slow motion. I take the rein forward to his neck, towards the bit, and he's already starting to stop. I sit down. He even takes a step back. I begin the roll. And it's okay if he takes more than one step back. We're in the learning phases right now. We want a horse that rocks back on the hind end and rolls over his hocks. So we're already setting a routine and a muscle memory practice here for him. We're setting good skills and good techniques to teach this horse how to move his feet properly and get out of his own way and make him effective in whatever industry we decide to go with him. Whether we decide to go rope with him, sort cows with him, run him on barrels, or just go for a trail ride, we're teaching this horse how to maneuver over his own legs properly with the weight of the rider. And there we even got a lope stride out of there. I reached back, I spanked him on the hind end, and I created more energy, and he came out of it for a couple lope strides for me. This game can be taught to any horse, no matter what industry they go into, no matter what their pedigree is, no matter what their conformation is. All of them are capable of learning this. And now we have a horse that's more confident already. He's more effective in his footwork, and he's looking for a job to do. This guy was already taking a step backwards when I asked him for that stop right there. Even though I wasn't going to put him into a roll, he was looking for the next job to do. And that's what we want. We want a horse that's on call, that's looking for a job. We don't want them patterned, so to speak. We want a horse that's going to listen to us, and we want to have that partnership and that feel with them. And so now, while I'm cooling him out here and letting him play game over and letting him relax, I'm going to try to stay out of his face. I'm going to try to do a little bit of neck reining around with him. Again, this is a very green colt. He has less than 40 rides, and most of those rides have been out, and they were done over the fall and winter and not the best footing or ground, and it was precarious, through the winter. And now we have a horse that's learning how to work in better footing, and he's waiting on us. We have now started to program the hard wiring on this colt, and overall we just have a really, really nice individual to work with that's reasonable and compliant, trainable. He's starting to get pretty handy in his footwork, and he looks really good doing it. One thing that you could take away from this is if the feet are correct, the mouth will be quiet. Anytime you see the horse's mouth gapping and chewing, it's generally because the feet are not correct. The feet are not doing the right job. So when we are working with our horse, we need to keep that in mind. If we have something that's grinding its teeth, that's chewing, that's got its mouth gapping a bunch, chances are it's because we don't have its feet working properly. And that being said, I hope this helped you guys a lot. Thanks for watching this part of the series of starting a green colt on the basic handle. Thanks for watching Becky Amio Horse Training, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.